So, hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare for a RIF. This is practical stuff. Right now we're going to take a look at two things, eOPF and HR Smart. When you go into eOPF, make sure that you do it from your work computer. You're going to need to use your PIV card. I haven't quite figured out how to use login.gov. Obviously, I'm not using my work computer, so these are all screenshots. You go to my eOPF and go into eOPF print folder. Here, the purpose of this section is to be able to download all your documents. I have been with the VA since 2010. I also brought back my military time, so there's a lot of docs. Now, if you click on select all, so it's going to grab all your documents that have either been uploaded to your personal file. And once you select all, click on print single-sided, it will submit a print job. It takes up a few days, but you can track it here in my print status. The one I had eventually dropped off. So once you get your print status, it's going to give you a job ID. That job ID will be part of your password. There's a small window of time that you're able to download that PDF file. And the next thing we're going to focus on is HR Smart. We're going to focus on the service card and benefit summary. The reason we want to focus on those two things, your service card has your personal information, your employment information, and your benefits. You want to make sure that those things are up to date. When I reviewed it, I noticed that some things were incorrect, and that could make the difference with you retaining a job. And then it looks like I might have missed a couple of positions that I applied for this reason because my stuff wasn't up to date. But then again, everything happens for a reason. It could have gone to an analyst position, and then I wouldn't be on exemption list. I would definitely be in danger for maybe being in a probationary type position, or I might be outside the VA in a different agency, and that might also have affected it. So I honestly trust God that He's in control, and then if I didn't get a job, there was a reason for it. So we're going to focus on the service card next. So you're going to see there's professional information, personal, and benefits. Here, focus on your current grade, your salary, also your position title. Here, focus on your grade entry date and when is your step effective. The reason is your high 3. If you're eligible for early retirement like myself, the step increase will matter. So mine is going to happen soon, so yay. But if yours isn't going to happen in the next year, that might be a challenge, but that's something you can kind of focus on and then start calculating what your high 3 will be. And then also your performance evaluation. Here, it'll give you your previous rating. Remember, they were talking about outstanding employees. You want to make sure that rating is correct. Here, I am 100% remote outside my area. So those are my area of concern. If I am called back to the facility, will I be able to do that? Will they have room for me? And here, if there's anything wrong with your record, click on your HR. This allows you to submit a ticket, and you'll have to submit one for each incorrect section. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is your personnel information. Now, we want to double check two things. So this is where they made the mistake and hadn't updated it. It might have cost me a job. So my current degree, they didn't record my master's. So that was still a bachelor's. And that actually makes an impact depending on what I was applying for. So I was applying for an analyst job that would have placed me in the non-exempt list, and then that could be a challenge as far as maintaining my job. Now, the other thing is veteran preference here. If you are 30% and above, you want to make sure that's up to date. The reason is there's certain positions that are direct hire based on your service connection. So that can make a difference with regards to like RIF. If we are being reassigned for a position, we might actually get more of a preference if we're 30% and above versus somebody that's below. I was listening to a podcast, and I'm going to share that link. He was talking about the difference between bumping somebody for a position and then also like retreating, which means if there's a position that's available and if you do meet the requirement and then you're like kind of neck and neck, you can actually bump somebody. That's how I'm understanding it. And retreating, if you qualify or held a previous position and that's the only thing that's available, they're going to offer you at least up to 2 grades below. So you basically take a pay cut. Doesn't really sound that great, but at least you want to make sure everything's up to date with regards to your personal and educational information and your veteran preference. The other thing I wanted to show you is right here, veteran preference RIF, that actually outlines whether you are yes or no. Being a veteran actually makes a difference. Now, the important key things here is your service date. It'll tell you the dates you're eligible, when you're going to retire, for leave, and then a RIF. So we'll check that. I did go over the total compensation plan. That's another video. So take a look at that because you can download that information. The GRB is basically your retirement benefits, and that goes over everything that's available to you. So you want to make sure like your years of service is up to date. Again, double check everything because that can make the difference. If you are 20 years and over 50, I believe, or 25 years plus, doesn't matter what age, then you might be eligible for early retirement, or I think it's called DSR, which is discontinued service retirement. So if you do experience a RIF, early retirement will make a difference and qualify for annuities. And then this way you'll have income coming in, maybe a severance pay for a little bit. Now, the next thing is your employee dashboard. The nice thing about the employee dashboard is you do have access. These are hyperlinks that take you to all those different platforms. So you can check on TSP, HR Smart, eOPF. I would double check your BATAS and make sure that your leaves are correct because you can get a lump sum, your annual leave, and then I believe with sick leave, you can actually use that to exit earlier if you needed to and if you have enough. Your service completion date, again, that matters because that's how they're going to count your service years. And then also, this is the key thing I want to kind of focus on. Confirm your beneficiary, because once you exit, you're not going to be able to make changes. You have to upload that information to HR. There's a couple of forms that require a witness for beneficiary, and they will accept a scanned one. But for your life insurance, they want the original. They want the wet signature with the witnesses. You have to send it certified mail. So make sure that you take a look at that. And then if you're not sure, go back to eOPF, click on search, click on all forms and just start typing in beneficiary. What you can do is click on each one of these forms to see if you have it. And then what'll happen is if you click on that form, it's going to take you back to my eOPF. And then it's going to tell you if it was available. It's going to list all the forms if it's in there. Mine which says no entries found, so I didn't do it. So now I'm fixing it. Now when I went to HR Smart trouble ticket, they addressed each and every item. So make sure you get that done. As I find out more things I need to get done to prepare for a RIF, I will continue to share my videos because I think it's helpful to be able to do it like one-on-one, sharing my screen. Without the visual, it's difficult. So I hope that's helpful. Please continue to subscribe and share if this is helpful to anybody else. And I'll continue to share my journey. All right. And thank you. Have a great night. And I will talk to you soon.